I want to talk about one of the other people who's on the battlefield. Go ahead. I'm going to grab you. Right, early on, in England and in Wales more than many other places on the continent, they realized the importance of archery. Right? And while the knights get all the press, when it comes to dealing death on the battlefield, it's really my group of people who do most of the damage. Knights hate us. Right, and one of the reasons is for the first time someone can kill a knight without getting eye to eye with them. Right, they have no real defense against this, and that armor does not stop our arrows. They'll penetrate that armor at 6 inches at 100 yards. Right, so we can shoot 250 yards away, and then by the time we're 50 or 60 yards away, I can go right through a helmet. Now, the problem with this is that it takes a long time. They start practicing as pages and learning their weapons at age 7. I start learning mine at age 7. The peasants start shooting their bows, the heaviest that they can draw at age 7, and they move up. In fact, at one point, Edward makes it illegal to do anything but practice archery for 2 hours on Thursdays and Sundays. And it's so important to practice at what they call the butts, that if you kill somebody by mistake while you're practicing archery, you're absolved. So many a feud was rectified at the archery butts. In fact, if you've ever been the butt of a joke, it's not anatomy, that means the target. The archery butts are the targets that we shoot at. That's where that term comes from. It has nothing to do with anatomy. And because this takes so much training, it's hard to get lots of archers on the field. And we developed the crossbow. They are much more well respected than the gunners, because gunners are stinky, right? All that sulfur and all the other things they're carrying around with them. These were very well trained soldiers. The Arbalestiers, mercenaries, are very expensive. This is what they call a munitions grade crossbow. So this is what we would hand out to people as we're training them. Not very fancy, but very effective. And the way you would string a light crossbow like this would be to push that down into here. Then when we take this out, we're not going to load it up because they would feel very uncomfortable. Right? And you would put that in there, and then these could easily penetrate armor. In fact, they got much stronger than these, upwards of 600-pound pull. Okay. Archery, on the other hand, as this is an English longbow, this is a slightly later period. The real benefit of archery over guns or crossbows is that I can shoot 6 arrows for every 2 that he can get off, and I can get 8 to 10 arrows off for every 1 gunshot. Right? I can shoot at 250 yards, like I said, and penetrate armor at that distance. With the bow, one of the things you Americans all seem to like to do is to stick your leg in there, and never ever do that. A horrendous way to bend a bow, especially if it's made of wood. You take this, you put it into your instep, you pull on the handle, you push the string out into the knot. Now, if you've never done this before and you decide to try it because you watched me, keep your arm between you and the bow, because if you do it wrong, that's going to hit you in the face, and somewhere I'm laughing. Okay? So here is the bow, that is the draw. People would ask, how is it that I can kill a guy in armor like this with this little bow? Oh, by the way, we haven't invented the quiver yet. We carry our arrows, we get into battle, ram them into the ground, hopefully they all stand up, and we start shooting out that direction. Okay, this bow is about 45 pounds, their bows were 140 pounds. The heaviest bows on the battlefield were 180 pounds. And there's a guy in England right now who shoots 205-pound longbow. Okay. This goes right through that armor, and the arrows weighed 1/4 pound, right? And they were as big around as a nickel on the business end. Right, so you're talking much bigger than our modern hunting arrows, which we're looking for penetration into a deer's lung. That you need something so heavy that if it doesn't penetrate his helmet, it actually breaks his neck. Okay, so the archers certainly could do this, and if you had 2,000 archers, you can shoot 7 arrows, and the 7th arrow will leave my bow before the first arrow lands. Right, so 2,000 times 7, that's how many arrows are in the air before the first person gets hit downfield. Right, this is terrifying, and this is how we won Agincourt. You guys ready to put it on a display here?